Modern women despise it when men discover the truth about their nature. As you are aware, if you tell a woman you are done with relationships and dating, she will do everything in her power to shame you into returning to the plantation and being hoodwinked and bamboozled again. Worse still is when you demonstrate their comprehension and they realize they cannot manipulate you. That is what women detest the most. Realistically, women want you to be ignorant and naive about who they are. This provides them with the ammunition necessary to manipulate and take advantage of you in order to obtain their desired outcome. Always remember that their core XXs are self-centered and only care about what they can gain for themselves. When you learn about female nature and decide you're done with dating and relationships, they can no longer manipulate you or obtain something from you. The few men who have awakened pose a threat because if you cannot be manipulated, you threaten their very survival. What you men must realize is that everything a woman does is for her survival, and if she has a young child, she may prioritize the survival of her child over her own. Unfortunately, the majority of them are not, and this is why the independence of men is so potent. As soon as you remove yourself completely from women, and you are not attempting to escape their wet vice grip or pursuing any meaningful relationship, they are unable to manipulate or exploit you. And women manipulate men and those around them primarily through three factors. First is their relationship with the people in their immediate environment, which can be any type of relationship or acquaintance. Number two is the most dangerous to men, which is using romance as leverage. And number three is using the court of public opinion to gain the sympathy and trust of other individuals. In the case of Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp, she employed all three manipulative strategies to control and manipulate Johnny while playing the victim in court and in the court of public opinion. Let's disassemble it. So you now comprehend how women rely on men to survive. The initial manipulation began with her relationship with Gianni, as they were both married. Consequently, she can begin the process of manipulation because they are in a relationship. She could not have initially manipulated him in the absence of their relationship. Always keep in mind that women cannot manipulate you if you do not interact with or form relationships with them. The second manipulation began when they engaged in romantic activity. Now you all understand that women use body language to get what they want from men. This is accepted knowledge. In the case of Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, they were married and he was rearranging her peace leaf. Otherwise, they never would have gotten married. Therefore, she used this to manipulate him and obtain what she desired. Men who don't have romance with women and choose monk mode or their own way are rarely manipulated by women because they typically avoid them and don't engage in romantic activity with them. Therefore, women cannot manipulate such men. This is why women dislike it when men avoid dating and relationships. They cannot use their lustful nature, or what Coach Greg Adams refers to as their stupid juice, which is the fact that they are not against them. Because if the majority of men did not want to untie a knot or remove their stupid shoes, they would never associate with women and could not be manipulated. Certainly, we would have perished eons ago. However, we are already at the start of the end. My recommendation is therefore to let it burn. Do not permit women to use your nature against you to obtain their desires. And if that requires you to stop having romantic relations with them permanently or temporarily until you regain control, then do so. The third manipulative strategy employed by women is the court of public opinion, or the type of individuals who believe all women. Do you remember the hashtag #BelieveAllWomenBS that swept through social media like wildfire? That was an attempt by women to maintain their ability to manipulate and use men to get what they want without being held accountable. Why would a woman then tell a lie, regardless of what she hears others say? Realize that this individual is a non-player character who must be eliminated from your life or avoided at all costs, as they will be quick to throw you under the bus for a woman. Now, in the Amber Heard case, she used the court of public opinion to portray Johnny as the perpetrator and abuser in order to gain an advantage in court. Fortunately for Johnny, he presented solid proof that she had been lying the entire time. In the end, the majority of people, including those in the courtroom, saw through her lies and manipulation and gave Johnny the title. This is what women do. They rush to get their story to the court of public opinion first and portray you as the villain. Then they carry out their dirty work. without individuals believing women without proof and rushing to their aid. The majority of them are incapable of manipulating men or surviving in this world. In light of what I have just said, this is why women despise men who understand them and cannot be manipulated. Without men, they cannot survive. It's that easy. Women will require you more than you require them, and this is something that you all must recognize. They don't want you to learn about female nature and their manipulative ways, which is why they get so angry when you tell them you've been watching coaches Greg Adams, Andrew Tate, and Kevin Samuels. You can be easily manipulated if you're an ignorant fool with a head full of dunderheads. But I've explained to you how they can control and exploit men. Therefore, you must decide how you wish to relate to them. Avoid associating with them to avoid being manipulated. Okay, gentlemen, I'm experimenting with a new format for the video and am modifying it slightly. I will therefore add various elements to the videos as time passes, and I will gauge your response to determine whether I should alter the videos. I'm not even sorry that we'll be discussing an article titled "Unquiet Quitting Men" by news.com data you today. Tap the like button to help this video reach 500 likes, and then we'll proceed. I've noticed something about the way I date that I'm not particularly proud of. Specifically, I've realized that I've been giving up on men too quickly. To be fair, I believe some of them have done the same to me. Everyone has heard of quiet quitting by now. This is a recently coined term for performing the bare minimum at work. It entails retrenchment, refusal of overtime, refusal of additional tasks, and avoidance of promotions. Well, I haven't done that at work, as my girlfriend has ADHD and far too much excess energy. However, I have observed that I do so in my dating life. I'll go on a few dates with a guy and enjoy their company, but then I'll become distracted and slowly withdraw from the relationship. When you hear her run, the first red flag is that she has some sort of mental disorder. In addition, she appears to be living on the streets if she must date constantly or is, quote unquote, giving up on her dating life. She is therefore not in the wifely category, and I would not take her at all seriously. Let's continue. Distractions can take various forms. I refer to it as the pretty bird syndrome. You know, when you're walking down the street deep in thought, then you see a colorful rosella and think, "Whoa, that's a pretty bird," before continuing on with an entirely different thought. Well, that's essentially the opposite of dating, and I believe a lot of people are you have the guy and enjoy the initial serotonin rush when he texts you saying he had a great time and is looking forward to doing it again. But after a few more dates, where you are still undecided, the initial excitement you felt from his text begins to fade. So you begin subtly breaking up with him on occasion. Gentlemen, this suggests to me that she has been exhausted and can no longer pair bond. This is what I receive. It is comparable to the initial dose of drugs that gave medicine users that high. The longer they do it, the more difficult it becomes to duplicate that sensation. The same is true for women dating and for women writing the CC. These women no longer feel anything for anyone because they have received so many digging sticks from multiple men that they are incapable of pair bonding. Therefore, we advise against mating 3s and 4s, as they are dead on the inside. Let's continue. It is distinct from ghosting. You are not simply vanishing in a cloud of foul smoke. You continue to text back, but with less enthusiasm, such as responding without a question to prevent the text from becoming a conversation. Indeed, you are essentially doing the bare minimum. Clearly, you do not wish to be impolite, and you are uncertain that you wish to end it. So if you just keep it lukewarm, this may appear to be outrageous. I believe it is preferable to dumping the set date, especially when dating is still in its early stages. It does not require an "it's not you, it's me" conversation. You both scan the room and then continue on your separate ways, perhaps deciding to return to it at a later date. To help us, please watch this video, please subscribe, and send this video to anybody